Liverpool 4, Tottenham Hotspur 0. It was a beatdown, a destruction, a public execution, baptism under fire. Big Ange Postecoglou and Tottenham out of the Carabao Cup. Liverpool sail through with consummate ease tonight. A masterclass, a clinic on how to perform in a semi-final, a demonstration of sheer quality, clinical edge, big players stepping up at the right moments. It was, listen, my biggest rivals, Liverpool, they're the best team in the world. Right, I can give you no higher praise. You're the best team in the world right now. Defensively astute, strong in the middle, deadly up front. I applaud you. As much as it hurts me to do it, best team in the world. And look, I've said that about Liverpool about 5 years ago. I've said it about City in the last 3 or 4 years. It's the biggest amount of praise that I could possibly give a rival football club. The best in the world. They deserve it massively tonight. By far and away the better team. Viewers, listen to Luke here with the super chat. Get the like button hit. Make sure you're subscribing. But get the like button smashed now. Every single one of you tuning in, get that smashed. Let's get this to 1,000 likes as soon as we possibly can. I know a lot of you wait to the end of the shows, which is great, but get that smash right now for us if you possibly could. Let's get this shared in your group chats. Let us know in the comment section as well if you would like to come on and have your say. We'd love to hear from you. But we know our finalists, Newcastle versus Liverpool. And be honest with you, it'll be a competitive final. It'll be a competitive final. What I saw from Tottenham tonight just reminds me of nearly every semi-final or final I've seen them in the last 20 to 30 years. It was limp, flaccid, impotent in so many ways from Tottenham. And I got they wanted to sit in early in the game. I don't think that approach was particularly wrong. But they could never get going. They looked scared of Liverpool. There was fear, genuine fear when they went to attack. The amount of times, whether it be from a corner, whether it be from a transition, a turnover of possession, the amount of times they would turn around and just go back to their goalkeeper. Even at 1-0 down and 2-0 down, you think, well, now's the time to take a fucking risk. They wouldn't do it. And I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed from the perspective of, look, I wanted the North London derby final. But I said it last night. I didn't change my mind because Arsenal went out. I thought, no, do you know what? Newcastle Spurs, someone sort of new-ish to win it. Go out there tonight, Spurs. Make yourselves be counted. Be brave. None of that. None of that at all. It was absolutely abysmal. It really, and I know they're the best team in the world, Liverpool. I understand that. Okay? They're the best team in the world. I know they're difficult to beat at Anfield. I'm not playing it down. But I saw a Man United team go there recently and really give them a go. I've seen Nottingham Forest go there and beat them this season as an example. I just thought it was limp. And they looked scared tonight, Tottenham. I thought they were pathetic in their approach. You know, it wasn't like they were 2 or 3-0 down already and they went for it early, then conceded and went, oh, we're out now. I would have understood that. They were leading. It went to 1-1. They carried on the same. They went 2-0 down, carried on the same. Ange made changes, by the way. The team just didn't want it. And I'd love to understand your rationale as to why in the comment section below, people. Panel coming for you a little bit later, but I want to shout out our title sponsors at Stocks FC. I love this fantasy football game. It's great fun to play with your friends, and you can really make them put their money where their mouth is when people give it the big one about, I've got stocks in Salah. Oh, I'll put stocks in Tel. Oh, I've got stocks in Ahmad. Do you really? Let's see if you do. Play Stocks FC. Sign up now and get your 5 free stocks. So it costs you, it's free to sign up to. You get 5 free stocks to start playing with so you can learn to build your portfolio ever before you put any of your hard-earned money onto the platform. If you do want to buy stocks, you're able to. My advice is start very small. Only use money that you can afford to lose because obviously the value of the stocks can go down if the player doesn't perform. But it is a fun and great game. I play it each week. Go and get yourself signed up now. At the end of February, everyone that's signed up since the beginning of January to the end of February is going into a prize draw Just as we did a few years ago, with some of you will remember, with the Xboxes that a few people won. We're going to be doing a prize draw where one of you will be rewarded. Remember, all you have to do is sign up to an account. You don't need to part with any money. You don't need to spend anything at all. But it's just a little thank you from us. You go into that prize draw. So big up to Stocks FC. Go and check that out now. Look, before I get back on the Spurs, I want to speak on Liverpool for a moment here. I said it at the top. I cannot pay Tottenham right now. Sorry, Liverpool right now, any higher praise than what I've already said. And I'll say it again for everyone new tuning in. The best team in the world by a country mile. In my opinion. Best team in England by a country mile. Maybe not in the world. There'll be a few people that will argue Real Madrid and Inter, which is fair. But absolutely the best team in England by a country mile and the best team in the world, in my opinion. Strong in every single facet of the game. What Arne Slot has done, he's just enhanced everything and got it back to its optimum level. And they bullied and they little broed Tottenham tonight. They dominated the ball. They created chances. The way they pressed and suffocated Spurs. To a point, they took... But the one thing you'd say about Tottenham under Ange, they've always been brave. Sometimes too brave, maybe. But what Liverpool did tonight, they took that away from them. They made their bollocks shrivel up. Right into their stomach, them balls went. They disappeared. Like a tortoise in hibernation. And you've got to give credit to Liverpool for that. You really, really do. It was out of this world. And they were relentless. When the goal comes at about 35 minutes, it felt like it was coming. It didn't feel like it was against a run of play. I think all of us that were rooting for Spurs tonight, as I didn't want Liverpool to win. You felt it was coming. The ball comes in from Mo Salah, gets another assist, by the way. Bang. And then early in the second half, Spurs do try and push forward a little bit, but they lost the ball again, just like for the first goal. What is Kinky? Is it Kinky? What's he doing? What is he doing? Comes out, takes down Darwin Núñez. The penalty from Mohamed Salah was absolutely out of this world. Top corner. It's 2-0. It's all she wrote. And then two more goals, rounded up, of course, by the captain in the end. Van Dijk putting it away. 4-0. Cherry on top of icings, on top of cakes. Into another final. I think it's a record equaling or record breaking 15th appearance in the League Cup final for Liverpool. And yeah, I just got to take my hat off to him. That's all I can say is I take my hat off to you. You were brilliant tonight. You pressed them to death. You passed them off the pitch. You outmuscled them physically in every part of the game. And you scared Tottenham. Tottenham were petrified of you tonight. 26 shots to 5. 10 on target to none. It was a beatdown. It was a domination on the location in every single which way. So well done to Liverpool. We'll hear more from the Liverpool fans soon on that. On Spurs, Basuma, world-class stinker. Absolutely pathetic performance from him on the ball. He looked like he was... Has he got eyesight problems? Is he short-sighted? Genuinely. The lack of vision and execution tonight from Basuma was absolutely abysmal. I thought Sarr was no better. The goalkeeper, I was quite impressed with Kinksky when he first came in. I thought, he looks right, you know. He is absolutely pony. Listen, I know about pony goalkeepers. I've got two at my club that genuinely would have a better chance in the Grand National. Maybe the Donkey Derby at the beach. But you get my point. I know about donkey goalkeepers. This Kinksky is one of them. Shocking from him. I thought Son, I know he hit the post late on. I thought Son was weak. The only player that do you know what? I think Richarlison would be the only one I give credit to in the first half. He got the ball and he'd look up. He's looking for people around him. No real support. I thought he held the ball out quite well. I know he ended up picking up an injury. I didn't think he was that bad. And then Tell gets thrown on. And listen, a lot of United fans are going to go, I'm so glad we didn't get him his crap. I'm not going to do that to the young man. I didn't think he could do much more. He was isolated. And then when it was 1-0 and then 2-0, I'm thinking, why are they not going for it a little bit more? Take a risk. And the amount of times tonight I saw Tottenham, pick the ball up. Think, right, it's a risky ball, but no, I'm going to go back to the keeper. God, it was so frustrating. So I don't know how Spurs fans felt. I'm watching as a neutral thinking there was about 4, I'm going to lie, how many corners did they actually have? They had 4. I'm saying on 3 of those corners, it could be all 4, but on 3 of them, they cross the ball, gets cleared, falls to a Spurs player at the edge of the box. Within 2 passes, it's back with their keeper. Now, look, some Liverpool fans will say, Terry, but give us credit. We pressed them well. We put the fear in them. I agree you did. But I expect a bunch of professional football players, paid what they are, to take risk late on. If you're a boxer and you get into the 9th and the 10th round and you know you're down by 10 rounds, you're losing, go out on your shield, leave your chin hanging out a little bit and start swinging. And the reason I'm annoyed at Tottenham is that's how you play 99% of the time. You often do that from the start of a game. Didn't try and do it at all tonight. Really, really poor indeed. But I'd love to get your thoughts, opinions, and feelings on the game tonight in the comment section below. Let's go to some of the super chats that have come through here. No matter how shit your club is, there is still Spurs. Look, listen, some Spurs fans think I have an agenda against them. I don't. I thought they were fantastic against Brentford the other day. I actually felt their approach, by and large, in the first half was right. Be compact and hard to break down. But what you have to do when you then go on the break is be brave. And they weren't. But I've praised them. I praised them when they won the first leg. I thought they were very good in the first leg, as an example. If my memory serves me right, if I've told a lie there, do call me out on it. I think I praised them. I think I remember doing that. But tonight, they were absolutely poor. We get it. A full-strength Liverpool is unbeatable. But where was the pride in the semi-final? They just gave up. Listen, Jerome, you're a long-standing Spurs fan, one of the earliest Spurs fans that we ever had. I think you're the first Spurs fan to ever super chat on the Football Terrace. And I so much respect for you. We absolutely agree completely and utterly with one another in relation to this. I did feel you gave up. I really felt you gave up tonight. It's how it felt watching. If people think differently, get your comments in. I'd love to hear from you on that. Aaron here, who's a Liverpool fan, says, gutted because I bet on 5-0. Everyone, including every Spurs fan, knew they would lose this game. It was just a matter of how many. Yeah, look, I mean, I did predict it. I did think they would concede 4 or 5. But I felt they would go out attacking. That's why I thought 4 or 5. The fact they didn't attack, I'm actually shocked it's 4 or 5, if that makes sense, from my perspective and what I thought was going to happen. Really poor. I said yesterday I wouldn't be too bothered if we lost this game, but I can't help it but feel bad for Spurs fans. The slot machine is unstoppable. Right now you are. I know you've lost a few games, but by and large, you do look unstoppable. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Best team in the land. You're now the favourites to win this. You're the favourites to win the Premier League. You're the favourites to win the FA Cup. You're the favourites to win the Champions League. The quad is on. And I know none of you really, well, it's not all of you. Sia in the group chat has said tonight they're winning the quad. So it's not that some Liverpool fans are starting to talk about it. Jed Spence is the only player that actually tried. I thought Jed Spence played well also. I agree with you. I do. There was a couple of times in the second half. I don't remember the minutes. I'm having a few whiskeys tonight. So there we go. But he was bombing down the right, after the substitutions were made. And he's putting his head up. Fuck. No knobhead in there. Hello? My mum used to shout this when me and my brothers were ignoring her, right? And Kate's going to know this word because she's from the south like me. Cooey! Cooey! That's what Jed Spence is shouting. Cooey! No one's in the box. Why? You're 2-0 down. I'm defending. Mad. Cooey! Slot managing players' workloads remark. Listen, I think I remember talking about this on the terrace in the first 3 or 4 games of Arnie's slot. I think Sam was on the show. I remember Sam nodding backstage. Right? Just, the little memories you get. And I said, the one thing I like about Slot, again, I hate that he's doing it. I'm a United fan, but I like what he does. I think he's reserving energy for Liverpool players at the right times in games. You're taking people off early. They're getting a goal or 2 up, and then they're just playing at a snail's pace to reserve energy rather than scoring 4 or 5 when they don't need to. And he does manage games impeccably well. You're correct. I wonder what happened to Big Ange now that they're out. Well, look, I will say this. A lot of people are, well, he always wins the trophy in his second year. What I won't do is anger the footballing gods. They're still in the Europa League and they're still in the FA Cup. Now, most of you will say they're not favourites and they won't win it. I understand the prediction, but they are still in those tournaments. However, if his league form doesn't start to improve, if they go out this weekend in the FA Cup away to Aston Villa, and then he loses a couple more league games on the bounce, I think they'll sack him, personally. People are going on about Ange's tactics, but I blame those players because I would rather they lose 6-3 again because they showed fight. That was pathetic today. Jerome, me and you are in full agreement here, brother. I don't blame Ange at all for tonight. I don't believe when you had chances to counter in that first half, I don't believe his instructions were bottle it and go backwards. I'd have loved that. Someone can't see it on TV. I'd have loved to have seen the camera shots of him on all three of those corners where you just ended up with your goalkeeper. I bet he was fuming. Because there was times where, yeah, you might concede a counter-attack. But when you were losing on aggregate, go for it. What's the point of not? It didn't make sense to me. I feel for young Tell, only been at the club 5 minutes, and he was waving his team up the pitch. Yeah, I saw it. That's why, listen, there's a lot of United fans tonight. I'd like to be salty with them, but I try my best to be as unbiased as I possibly can. And yeah, I felt sorry for that young man tonight being thrown on at Anfield against Van Dijk and Konate. Not just as a lone striker, he was the lone fucking ranger tonight. The distance between him and his teammates at times was gargantuan. The Grand fucking Canyon had nothing on it. Ridiculous. Tell's Island, bruv. Tell's Island it was. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I think I might have added a syllable there. Listen, people, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please get it done. Nearly 5,000 people tuning in, which is just amazing. So thank you very, very much indeed. It means a great deal to us. It really, really does. Terry, who am I supporting in the final? Oh, the Champions League final. If we meet, I would never support Liverpool. Ever. Ever. Actually, that's not true. It can't happen this year. Say it was Liverpool-Chelsea and Chelsea could go on to 3 Champions Leagues. I support Liverpool. Although Liverpool would then be one further away from us, Chelsea wouldn't match us. So there are scenarios where I would, but generally speaking, if they're up against, other than that scenario, I'd never support Liverpool in almost anything, unless it benefited my club. So yeah, if it was if it was Barca, Liverpool, I feel Catalonian. And listen, no Liverpool fan would ever support Man United unless it benefited them. It's not salt. It's just the truth. Yes, you can get on, bro. You can get on. I'll share the link now, bruv. In the comment section. We'll get you on, my G. Absolutely. I know you do ask, but are you not in the group chat for the match reactions? Speak to KJ and we'll get you into the group chat, bruv, because you've been a member so long and a super chatter so long. We'll get you in the group chat. You don't need to ask, my bro. You're always welcome on TFT. I'm just looking at all the Spurs fans backstage crying. Poor old Kate. Not old Kate, as in poor old. Doesn't mean old. It just, poor young Kate. Mr. Box Office is there. For Sam. So Sam's got his biceps out. Tom Little's got his paper cut arms out. Yes, I see him there. Right, hang on. What's this? In the past, they've played a much higher line. Now they are over defensive. 2 extremes. Thoughts. Look, they had to be compact early. There was nothing wrong with that. They just didn't attack with enough bodies. They were shook. And that's taking nothing away from how good Liverpool were. I just wanted to see a bit more bravery, especially when they were down by 2 goals. I personally wanted to see a little bit more. Lesson of this season is, unironically, stay humble. Sometimes. Right, let's bring out the panel now to have their say on the show. Who we got here? We got the lovely Kate. We got Man Like Box Office. We got Jerome. We got Husam. We got Sam. We got Tom. We got Ram. We got Raz. We got a big panel for this tonight. We got a big panel. Look at this. Kate.
Am I still arrogant? Am I still waiting for the football gods to humble me? Oh my God, the football gods humbled me when I said see you at Wembley to the Newcastle fans. I've been so humbled tonight. Go ahead, Kate. Sorry.
I don't even know how to follow that. I don't even know what to say with Sam coming in there with. You did say you'd win 5-1, so you was a little bit out, Sam. Not a lot, but a little bit.
Wow, 4-goal margin. Tomato. Come on now. I actually gave you a goal. I was respectful.
When we lost 6-3 to Liverpool, I come on and said sometimes you have to just put your hands up and say you lost to the better team, and that's what happened tonight. We're miles off them, and we got put in our place. It was frustrating because we didn't even try. There was no belief, there was no heart, there was nothing from us. I just thought it was absolutely abysmal tonight. But like everyone said, Liverpool are favourites for the Champions League, the Premier League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. Tottenham are sitting in 14th. No one really believed that Tottenham were going to win. So it is what it is. It's just frustrating. But there you go.
Ange did. He wins stuff in his second season, doesn't he? Won't be this, but he wins stuff in his second season. I wonder what it's going to be.
Tom, ain't it past your bedtime, darling?
No. I'm all right,
Sure.
I get to stay up on nights like this, when Liverpool
all right. You'll be tired for school tomorrow, though, so be careful.
I know. It's all worth it.
Jerome, I know you obviously sent in some super chats, and thank you. I know you're very frustrated. Talk to me about your Spurs team tonight.
Absolutely pathetic. Like I said, we were going to lose. Doesn't matter. But show some fight. Show something. It's a semi-final. This was absolutely pathetic today. People are going to go, oh, it's Ange tactics. His tactics are rubbish. He can't tweak. He can't do this. He can't do this. I don't care. Today is on both players. They were rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. I don't care if you go and lose 6-0, 7-0, 10-0 to Liverpool. I don't care. Show me fight. Show me that you want this. Show me that you wanted to go in there. They showed nothing today. All they did is get the ball, pass it back to the keeper. Get the ball, pass it back to the keeper. They did nothing. This is the most embarrassing thing I would have seen. I wanted them to go and show that they showed some pride. Go and fight. Do something. And they just let Liverpool just completely nullify their scared kids. That's all I saw. A bunch of scared morons that could not do anything. You're telling me you're in a semi-final. You're meant to show everybody that you are able to go there and do something. I understand the first half was we soaked the pressure. But Bissouma, for crying out loud. Again, we're supposed to say, oh, he's better than Rice, right? An absolute moron again, every single time. Costing us game over and over again. And today is just pathetic. That is the worst thing ever. You're going to Anfield against the best team in the world. And you just go there, oh no, they're too strong for us. We can't do this. We are too strong. Show some pride, for God damn it. Show some goddamn pride. Why can't you do this? Why just stay there like and do nothing? Liverpool didn't have to do anything. We just sat there and said, just do nothing. And just was training for them. Absolute training. Bunch of morons. I'm just sick of it. Every time when it matters, they break our heart. I don't know about you guys, but they break my heart every single time. When it matters, they break it. An absolute disgrace of a team. Cannot believe how pathetic we went out of this cup. And people are going to go, oh, this is Ange tactics. It's Ange tactics that doesn't work. Again, the players just dropped and they let another manager down again. I get it's Liverpool. I get they are unbeaten right now. We can't go to Anfield and expect us to win. But show some pride. Show some fight. At least show something. 0 shot on target. We did nothing. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
I hear you, Jerome. I do, mate, and I feel your pain on that one, mate. I'm going to go to Liverpool for a minute. We normally speak to you near the end, but Rack, I'm going to go to you first tonight. What did you make of Liverpool's performance this evening, mate?
Is he on time for a change? He normally comes in.
Yeah, he got here early. Yeah.
It was pretty easy. There's no point sugarcoating it. Spurs made it easy for us, but we are very good right now. We're one of the best in the world. Definitely one of the best in Europe. And I don't think many people didn't expect Liverpool to. Not many people expected Liverpool to go out at this stage. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, Spurs have their issues. They have their problems. They've got players out and all that kind of stuff. And we are one of the reasons why we're doing so well and making it look so easy is almost our entire squad is fully fit, and all of that credit has to go to Arne Slot. The way that we're playing at the moment, like Virgil van Dijk has played almost every game this season, but if you look at him, he walks through most games, so he's not covering masses of distance. When he has to play, he can put a shift in, sprint when need to, and that kind of thing. And when we need to turn it up, we can. But the vast majority of time, we play at a relatively slow pace, at least compared to recent seasons, and that's put us in good stead for up until now and for the rest of the season. And I couldn't have asked for anything else. It was pretty easy, and we move. We've got a game next at the weekend in the FA Cup against Plymouth. So play the C team in that, and that should be enough. Sorry, I don't mean to be arrogant, but Plymouth the bottom of the Championship. So, and then we've got Everton next week. That is the next big game. If we win that, I think that breaks a lot of Arsenal hearts because they see all these big away games coming. And they think Liverpool, they need to drop points. Bournemouth was one of them last weekend. And if we beat Everton, I think...
Don't fall for it.
No, I'm not falling for it. I've said it consistently. I think we'll win the league anyway, but I think that will be the point at which I think a lot of them will give up.
Listen, I think you could be absolutely right on that. And of course, Arsenal fans are going to hope for that defeat. Of course, they would. Everyone would hope if it was the other way around as well. Jerome, I've got like Deji and Orchie to bring in. I'm going to swap some people around. I appreciate you coming on, brother. And thank you for all you do for the terrace, mate. You're an absolute legend. Thank you, bro. Deji's joining us now. Mr. Box Office, what went wrong tonight, bro? Orchie, by the way, I can see you as well. We'll bring you in, bro. I can see you backstage. What you saying, Mr. Box Office?
Listen, I'm not going to say too much really because it's not. I'm just been repeating, and I'm getting bored of it. To be honest with you, it's not that I've been saying this the last 4 years. I've got to be honest. One thing I will say: Liverpool are a very good side. Well done to Liverpool. I have to say that. I didn't expect us to win the game. No, try to get a draw maybe. The thing that really gets to me, and it's quite interesting to hear Jerome's take on things, saying about the players, because I think I heard that he said one time we need to be patient with this manager that has had 18 months, and I don't see any progress from this manager. Like I said before, the worst manager since Christian Gross. Let that sink in, like I said before. And people saying about injuries, we can talk about Van der Ven and Romero. If you look at the percentages of how many times Romero and Van der Ven have been fit, it don't look very good. So that's an excuse again. I have to say this. Also, as well, I didn't come on against Brent on the terrace for Brentford because I was sitting there thinking I was going to hear, oh, we need to give credit to Postecoglou because he did change it. I don't think he changed it. I think someone had a word with him, or the players just said we're too tired for these tactics because we saw this against Man City. Remember that? You know what I mean? And look what happened after that. You know what I mean? The problem is with this team. Our experienced players are absolutely rubbish. I told you about Bentancur, got so much credit after Brentford. I said, no, I'm sorry. This guy's gone missing for how long? He's a Juventus reject for a reason. And he's still a Juventus reject for a reason. Because he doesn't cover, he has got no composure, he's got no leadership in him. And I'm hearing that he's going to be a leadership team. You're having a laugh. I'm sorry, I still have Højbjerg back in my midfield all day long. I'm sorry. Jones showed me what a real midfield is all about. You know what I mean? Yeah? Gravenberch. Yeah? With a proper coach in front of him. You know what I mean? Yeah? Don't get me started on Son, because he was non-existent. He was absolutely non-existent.
Why do you feel that you were so sort of flaccid and impotent in your attack tonight? Why didn't you, even when at 2-0 down, why didn't you really ever go for it? What do you think stopped you?
Well, maybe because just the tactics and that's it. He hasn't got any clue whatsoever, Postecoglou. You know what I mean? And I don't think he's cut out for this whatsoever. This is his opportunity for a trophy, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, and the person towards my right says that claims that he told me about Postecoglou, Husam, right? When I was telling everyone since June 2023 So I don't know what he's talking about, that nonsense. You know what I mean? So that's the first thing I need to say. But like I said, it's about the tactics and him and the players as well. But Charleston was ridiculous today. He was, thank goodness he came off, because he was just an absolute embarrassment. You know what I mean? You know, Van Dijk showed me what a leader's all about. An absolute leader's all about. And when Tao comes on, I was like, well, thank goodness we got that useless guy off. I do feel sorry for Kulusevski. I actually feel sorry for Archie Gray. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for the fact that he brought on Mikey Moore when we were 4-1 down. You know what I mean? It's just, for me, it's just. Has he got
to go for you? Is he got to go for you, Alex?
Well, even if he won this competition, he would have gone for me. Because for me, it just looks like the same thing, feels like the same way it went with Ramos. And we all know what happened with Ramos after the first season. We all remember that. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for your dad, Terry. I'm not getting personal because you know you're as a Tottenham fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So you know what I mean? You must be going through a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but my dad's old. My dad remembers. My dad was alive when you done the double, bruv. So I feel sorry for you young ones who never saw good things. Like my dad
that's
saw.
The point.
My dad saw the first ever English side do a double, so he's all right. My old man. Do you know what I'm saying? He saw the World Cup be won. Like my dad's all right. I don't worry about you young pups that stupidly pick Spurs when you got 37 teams in London and you pick Spurs. Why? Listen, I hear you on that. We're going to speak to some more Spurs fans in a minute. Husam, obviously a very big night for yourselves. Slot gets to his first final, a chance at his first bit of silverware at Liverpool in what could end up being a quest for a quad potentially this season. But before that, how impressed were you with your approach to tonight's game and your domination in the location? Sorry, Ange.
I'm not surprised. First of all, Mr. Box Office, I was telling people at Ange at the start of last season when you were actually good. So let's not go there. That's a long time ago. Anyway, back when there were like 15 Spurs fans in every match reaction. Today is not a shock to me whatsoever. I mean, obviously, Kate is trying to be shameless with the 5-1 claims. At least I gave you a goal, but, it's literally a 4-goal difference. So I'm genuinely not shocked. I'm not even trying to little bro Spurs or anything. But I remember coming on the match reaction when we lost 1-0 to Spurs in the first leg. I said, see you at Wembley, Newcastle. And guess what? I'm going to see Newcastle at Wembley. All this bullshit about football gods and humility and stay humble and shit. Spurs are coming to Anfield in a midweek game with a 1-0 lead. Okay, mate, shiver me timbers. I said it 4 weeks ago, I say it again today, and it was proven right. As soon as Gakpo put the ball in the back of the net, it was game over, because you knew the second was coming, and the third was coming, and the fourth was coming. And we were absolutely brilliant. All the technique merchants, keep talking about technique when it comes to Mo. That second goal, that first touch and pass in behind. Oh, so much for a goal-scoring winger who has no technique. Yeah, because someone with dead technique can do that, right? An incredible performance from Van Dijk as well in defense. Even without the goal, he was just absolutely incredible. Kelleher could have had shisha today, to be honest with you. He's literally 0 shots on target. It's just he had no hope. Because he had shisha and a drink and just sat there and just watched the game, to be honest with you, because they were just boxed in. And Ange did change the tactics. He did defend, but the thing that I kept saying pre-game, even to the Liverpool fans who were worried, I was like, guys, we literally play against a low block every week. This is just my regular life. Ipswich low block, Brentford low block. Next week when we play against Everton, it's going to be a low block again. Every team that plays against Liverpool plays in a low block. That doesn't mean we can't unlock it just because it's a low block, because we do have weapons in Salah. We do have weapons in Gakpo. I actually thought, that certain Uruguayan played well as well today. Gravenberch at this point is just, I don't even think there is words to describe him. But Terry's asking about the approach. I love Slot's approach for today's game, because in the first leg, obviously, we started a bit of a weaker side because of the games that we had coming up. Now you're looking at the schedule. We have Plymouth this Sunday. So obviously in that game, I know every Liverpool fan who isn't edgy, Tom Little, is going to want us to play basically the under-21s against Plymouth, and then go really strong against Everton in the league, because that's the game that truly matters. If we lose to Plymouth, yay, it's a shock and all that shit, but I generally couldn't be arsed. I'm not going to sit there, oh, wow, we lost to Plymouth, let me cry. Listen, when I say bigger fish to fry, we actually do have bigger fish to fry, except I do expect us to beat Plymouth anyway, even with our under-21s. So this is going to be a long season. Slot's approach this season, and Terry did speak about it at the start, has been very smart in terms of rotation, in terms of rest. I mean, even today, he gave McAllister like the 60 minutes off, and he just brought him on like at the end. Even when we were winning and it was confirmed, like, okay, it's game over, he brought off Salah. I love that. He brought off Van Dijk. I love that. So obviously he's resting his key men. I think there was a stat. Me and Tom did a show last week, and it was brought to our attention. Like, we're the 19th team in the league in terms of like running and stuff. So we're not just running around. Like, we're conserving our energy. You know, we're defensively solid, and we're rotating well. So you have to give Arne Slot massive credit. And listen, I'm not one of those people who undermines competitions unless United win it, because the whole point of being a fan is undermining anything your rival wins. Yeah, but that's the whole point of football, isn't it? You have to undermine your rivals when they win something, or else the sport becomes
hang on, but just don't do it in front of Gary Neville, because he'll be onto the Premier League to make it a yellow card offence. So just be mindful of that, mate. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
But anyway, look, it's the final at Wembley. Newcastle will be an extremely tough opponent. I mean, Newcastle and you know, I don't want to say something too crazy, but they do have a horrible record at Wembley and a horrible record against us, to be fair. I think Newcastle fans, and they were in my chat tonight, they were like, this is the worst case scenario for us. They would have rather faced anyone at Wembley but us, because of like the bad record that they have against us. But I'm very excited, very happy. It's a final. Hopefully we go to Wembley and win it. And if we do win it, it pushes us on and spurs us on, no pun intended, to go and do something this season. So I'm very happy. I literally have no complaints about a single player. Everyone was absolutely unbelievable today. All the players, the manager, even Anfield was rocking. Today, Anfield was like a European night. It was like, it brought memories back from like the Dortmund and Barca games. It was just absolutely rocking. It was intense. It was amazing. Richarlison got the crowd pissed off at the start of the game. You know, thank you, Richarlison. You get me for the assist. And yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Wembley, here we come. Anfield South.
Absolutely. Tom Little, do you agree with what Husam has said there, or do you have a different view and take on this?
No, for once, me and him agree on one of these shows. Look, that was about as dominant as you could get. You know, I said a couple of weeks ago you saw the most dominant performance of the season against Ipswich, but they at least scored. They at least managed a couple of shots on target. 90 minutes, final against Newcastle on the line, and Spurs couldn't muster up a shot on target. 5 shots in the game, 0.17 XG. At no point in that game did I feel threatened. We were toying with them. I want to give, you know, Hassam's got a lot of good players there. Connor Bradley deserves immense amount of credit for today. I thought he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
The amount of energy he has, the decisiveness with his runs, he plays so differently to Trent, and it works so well with his skill set. I mean, he sets up the 3rd goal, but the amount of times he makes that little inside run between the fullback and centre back, and no one knows who to go with. And if he just, you know, it's hard to nitpick, but if his crossing just becomes a little bit more consistent, you've got an incredible right back there with so many aspects that you'd want. You know, Sam said he didn't have any words for Gravenberch. I do. Best DM in the league. But there can't be any debate. There can't be any arguments. This has now been every single game this season. He has walked off that pitch as either the best midfielder or the second best midfielder. It's unbelievable how good he is. Van Dijk and Canate at the back today. I know they didn't have to deal with much, but anything that came their way, they dealt with. And going forwards, I mean, Gakpo and Salah on either wing is incredible. And Darwin Núñez, you know, I know Husam won't mention by name, but I thought he was actually very good today. And when he's not, ironically, when he's not having shots, I enjoy Darwin Núñez a lot more. When I'm not seeing him blaze efforts constantly, and I'm seeing this focus on more of his all-round game, on more of his off-the-ball game, on more of his link-up, I see a very good footballer at points. And today, you know, anytime one of the front 3 or one of the front 4 lost the ball, the guy chasing it down would be Núñez. Any corner that Spurs had that came in, the guy heading it away was always Núñez. And ultimately, the best part about today, it's not the fact that we got to a final. It's not the fact that the Aston Villa game's been moved either, which I think is a real big positive. Liverpool Football Club have scored from a corner. I cannot remember the last time we did that. And if you watched our corners in that first half today,
because Robertson didn't take it.
But Sam, let's not just put this on Robertson. anyone who took any of them corners today, bar McAllister, put them either couldn't get past the first man, put it outside the box. We were better off in that first half, sending corners back to Kelleher. Horrendous. But at least we scored one.
Yeah, no,
I think we should
he-
try to seduce Nicholas Jover, bring him over to we actually win stuff, you know. The only condition I'd have for us, like getting Nicholas Jover from Arsenal, is Slot has to get him to sit his ass down every time there's a corner. If he gets up, I just want Slot to punch him in the face. Like, don't get involved. Just sit your ass down.
We don't need
don't
set
get
piece coaches. They've dedicated their entire attack to set pieces. They've got murals.
You do realise though as well, though.
Winning
You
it
do
without-
realise that Sky purposely put the cameras on him for that reason. I bet if they put the cameras on corners of your bench, you'd see certain coaches up as well. But I hear you.
We don't have a set piece coach.
You know,
we actually don't, by the way.
Deji, this has just come out. This has just been released. I want to get your view on Spurs tonight. Spurs tonight accumulated 0.00 XG on target against Liverpool. 0. It's one of the lowest. That's on the XG philosophy. They're saying you accumulated 0.00 XG tonight. How bad was that performance in your opinion? And what words do you have for your players and Ange tonight?
So basically, I've had to listen to Tom and Husam shake their bum violently for their club, and well done and go and do your thing. Look, you can lose a game of football, and nobody expected Spurs to win tonight. When you looked at the lineups, you're expecting Liverpool to win. All we're asking for, and I think Kate will agree, box office will agree, is we just want some heart. And I would say that the difference between Slot and Postecoglou is, one, Slot sets up a system. He's found a system that works for the players, that brings out the best of the players. And let's be real, the Carabao Cup doesn't mean much to Liverpool, but yet they were on fire. And we've got Husam saying that it felt like a European night. My club, my manager, the prick who I want gone, Archie Gray has played in about 109 different positions this season. Why is Archie Gray right back? We know that every time Bentancur, Papsar, and Basuma have played in the midfield three, they've been rubbish. So why would you do that? And then the other thing, the obvious thing, is that Son hasn't been good. He's a legend. We love him, but he's been pants this season. So set up the team in the best possible way. Jed Spence should start at right back, maybe Reguilon at left back. Just give the team some structure. If a bit of structure, I'm not saying Spurs win, but we don't get embarrassed the way that we got embarrassed tonight. And for me, it proves Postecoglou, who has no clue, is out of his depth. All these Tottenham fans leave Ange, give him time. You're just lying. You're hanging on a wing and a prayer. You're hoping that he can do something. We're just hoping. The truth is, he's not going to do nothing. Look, we are pants in the league. The Carabao Cup is the reason why he's still in the job. He was justifying that. At least we're in the Cups. He's got that one down, 3 to go. At what cost? How long are we going to take this track? I agree with comments in the chat that I've seen. That team, the actual players, weren't that bad to get walloped the way they got walloped tonight.
Yeah, but Deji, you cannot blame Ange Postecoglou for Basuma consistently giving the ball away. For stupid individual errors. You can't blame him for that.
I don't agree with that.
You're right, but what I'm trying to say, Kate, you're right. But then what I would say is, why start him? You know he's prone to mistakes. Why start him? The other thing that I would say, though, even if players are making mistakes, it's Premier League football, top-tier football. What I didn't see, for a team, Tom is right. For a team to play 90 minutes, have no shot on goal, it's quite disgraceful. That means you weren't up for it. Did any Spurs fan think today we were up for it?
I think we're up for it, Deji. Deji, we were up for it. It's just that we're just not good enough. The tactics as well, it's not good enough at the end of the day. And that's on the manager.
The tactics are to blame for everything in your eyes, Alex.
Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, Kate, I'm not being no disrespect. Look at what's happened this season. I'm not being funny. So,
And I'm not.
so I'm sorry. The evidence is there. The stats are there. I'm sorry. I'm not
I
listening to
agree.
nonsense about Tom about XG. Forget XG. We're not kids here. We're talking about shots.
Kids.
Actual evidence. Shots.
That's
Yeah,
the real
shots
quiz.
is embarrassing. Yeah, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I was born in the 90s. Yeah, not born in the 1980s. I'm talking about shots. That's what I want to see. XG.
Shot.
I don't care about XG.
You had-
XG could be up. You know what I mean?
Alex,
well,
I agree.
you had shots, but your XG was so low because they weren't on target.
I don't care about XG. XG didn't make up. That's Arsenal.
No,
Arsenal
I think XG is not everything, but XG is an indicator of how good your chances were. Because
Bro, if you can watch a game,
say you created 10 opportunities where you were taking shots from the 6-yard box with no defenders around you because you ripped through them, you'd have a massively high XG as an example, right? Your XG was so low because even the shots you had weren't troubling for Liverpool, and that's a real problem. So it doesn't mean everything XG, but it's certainly an indicator. It's about the quality of the chances.
You can see that yourself, though, can you? You can see that for yourself. Can
Look,
you?
I think it's a combination, Alex, tonight. I think your tactics, I get what you're calling out, but I also saw a bunch of players who looked like rabbits in headlights tonight. There's a mentality issue. There was a mentality issue there as well, and you can blame the manager for that also. Like I'm not saying you don't put any of that upon the manager, but I don't think it was. You had to be compact and hard to break down tonight, but you had to be brave when you won the ball. And I would say in that opening 30 minutes, you maybe won the ball back and could counter 5 or 6 times. And sometimes Kulusevski would run forward with the ball, or Richarlison would. You turn around, nobody was there with him. You had a couple of corners. Not great deliveries, well cleared. You pick the ball up on the edge of the box. Look left, look right. Cooey, no one's around. Back to the goalkeeper. And then you went long and they won it back. So it wasn't just the structure. It was the bravery in attack. And it almost this element of, it was like you were too scared to try and win.
It was intimidating. I think the minute they started singing, I think the minute the play came out and they were singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," I think our players shriveled up. I really do, and I think we've got a young squad. And I've criticised Ange loads, and I get the criticism of Ange, but I don't put tonight on Ange Postecoglou. I put it on players making individual mistakes, being lazy. Sumo is just an absolute disgrace. He's too old. It was just awful.
The superstar.
Yeah, go on. I was just going to say, I agree with you, Kate. The only thing I would say is that I think we've seen it too many times this season. I say Brighton second half. I would say the Ipswich game, Palace game. Do you know what I mean? Where the Spurs players don't turn up. Now, for me, as the very minimum, I just look, even if you watch Ipswich play, if you watch even bloody Everton now or Leicester, if they go down fighting. I'm not saying we were going to win, but if you're going to go down fighting. And I've seen too many games this season where the Spurs players look like rabbits in the headlights, look like they're not sure what's going on, look like they're rattled by the occasion. That means the manager, what is he saying to get them hyped? If I want to see coming out to Anfield to You Never Walk Alone, all the players jumping on the pitch like, yeah, we got to go. They were just walking.
This is the thing.
You should have played You Never Walk Alone in training.
Listen,
I like Ange, but the thing ultimately, the thing is that it is his responsibility, right? He's the manager. Ultimately, the buck stops with him. I will say that there's players like when Spurs actually did show us some intensity. Richarlison hates us, right? Obviously, we've got history with Richarlison. When he was on the pitch, actually, he was running around. He was harrying a little bit, but I think there weren't enough players who were doing the same as him. If there were more players who were putting a bit of a shift in, then I think maybe you might have created something, or created opportunities, or maybe made us question ourselves. But
there was just one player. There was just one player that was really trying his heart out, and that's Spence. I think Jake Spence is the only one tonight who can come out with his head held up high. Apart from him, everybody else was just an absolute joke to me tonight.
And imagine,
don't get used to it. I agree with you there, mate.
And I have to say, I did find some of his selection a bit of a joke tonight. Like, I agree with you, Deji. What the hell is Archie Gray doing in right back when you've got, when you've got Jed Spence and you've got Reguilon fit, or even, play Archie Gray. At least Archie's been playing in centre defense. Why don't you match him up with the new guy and stuff? I don't know. I mean, Bergwijn, when he came on, he was running around trying his best. So, like, maybe he should have tried, some of the other youngsters, Mikey Moore, Bergwijn. Why didn't? Because Bergwijn in the first game did actually all right. He's the one who scored the goal. He's the one who was actually, and it's just, I don't know, like some of his decisions. This is the thing about Ange that I will criticize. That he's some of the players that he picks. It does, make me scratch my head in frustration. Actually,
would you also, Archie? I want to ask you. One of my questions for you is going to be: then when he made the subs, he goes and puts Archie Gray at left back instead of in the role that he's been craving to play in midfield. And your midfield had so many holes in it tonight.
Yeah, no, he did. We were way too open, as you said. We needed to be. I wanted us to be more compact. A little bit like how we played against Brentford, really. I think we did a really good job against Brentford. And every time, and then when we had the opportunities, we'd break and maybe nick a goal. I thought that's the way we would pretty much set up tonight. But, and I know what you said about Richarlison, but Richarlison to me is just like another Timo Werner, but in attack. You've got Tell. Why don't you, give him a run out? I don't know. It was frustrating. But look, I have to say, obviously, Liverpool, they have got such a fantastic team. Pretty much even their bench is just, most of those players would get into most teams in the Premier League. They'll walk into most teams in the Premier League.
I think it's the coach, though, Archie. I think it's the coach.
I get where there's a comment here, though, I want to bring up before, obviously, I speak to more of the lads about the game. But Mark here says, Liverpool deserve to win, but take Spurs' injuries out of Liverpool, City, Arsenal, etc., and tell me what they've. I remember though last year, kids winning the Carabao Cup for Liverpool. Kids, when they had a few first teamers in the first team, but when those subs were made, the world and his dog went. Oh, that's it now. Chelsea are going to go. That's where the phrase that the £1 billion blue bottle jobs came from. I saw Liverpool's kids win the trophy. I've seen Man United go away to Paris Saint-Germain with a deficit, and we have the likes of Chong and the co that have not kicked the ball for us come on in that second half and knock out Paris Saint-Germain. I do get the injuries, and they do play a part, and there is it isn't fair just to say it plays no part whatsoever. But as you say, like, I don't know about you Spurs fans, if you'd have lost 7-0, but you were hitting some shots on target, you were battering it, like, would that have felt worse or better if you were actually trying but lost 7-0 rather than not one shot on target and lost 4-0? I don't know how I don't put words in your mouth, but it feels like you're all saying the lack of, you'd have rather lost heavier if you were trying to win as opposed to
Terry. What it sounds like to me is it's the worst because they did get their ass kicked and they also felt like they didn't go for it enough. Because it's one thing to get your ass kicked and you try and go for it. They got the worst of both worlds essentially.
Yeah, I mean, Husam when he was here said that they're used to playing against the low block. So then you've got to look at it. Well, if Ange had gone all gung ho and gone full out attack, would the same thing have happened? But at least we might have scored. You don't know what would have happened.
You score if you score the first goal and then maybe you sit in. It's a different. It's why we review these things. Della Spurs here. And I hear you. We're speaking hypotheticals here. Yeah. The Soboslai goal represented Spurs right now. A lack of skill and a horrible tactic. No one in the midfield to track the runner. How do you have no fight in a semi-final when your club hasn't won a trophy? So I think the Spurs fans on the panel, Della Spurs, have echoed that massively tonight.
Terry, just interject quickly, because I know other people need to speak. I think it's the midfield for me. Right, I've been saying it how many times. The midfield for me is the loser for me. That's where Liverpool won the game for me, because I've said so much about this midfield, how bad it is. I think the experienced players have let us down massively. Right, I think the choices of who's in the leadership as well. I think that the symbolism of Davis coming off and then Mikey Moore coming on, that was a big statement for me as well. Taking off all these midfielders as well. Okay, I think for me the experienced players have failed this season, and that's why we're in the trouble.
Alex, just to echo your point real quick, I've said this to Newcastle plenty of times. When we're at our best, you point to the forwards, Isak, Gordon, whoever, but you point to the midfield trio of Tonali, Bruno, G, and Alex, you were saying about Gravenberg, Jones, and to maybe a lesser extent Szoboszlai. That's like your midfield. Your midfield's supposed to help you defend and attack.
It's a great point, Steve. Because I was looking at Newcastle earlier and cross-referencing your form with Isak's goals. Ever since you said that the manager started picking the right midfield, it coincides with the majority of Isak's goals coming. There's such an interesting. When you cross-reference the two, your attackers are scoring more goals when your midfield is better. And of course, that's because there's a foundation there. So I do agree with both of you on that. Ram, we haven't heard from you tonight in relation to Liverpool. We've heard obviously a lot of praise. I want to get a little bit away from the game slightly, the question I ask you, though, because you're going to get up against Newcastle. How confident are you of maintaining their 60-plus year run without a trophy now?
Relatively confident, I'd say. The only reason why I say that is not because of the quality of Newcastle. I believe Newcastle has a lot of quality in their team. I just feel as though similar to what Tottenham have with Chelsea, what to us to an extent with United, and Arsenal to an extent with City in previous seasons, there's some form of inferiority complex with Newcastle and Liverpool. For some reason, whenever they play us, they never play at their full potential, and we end up beating them, even in our really bad run where in 22-23, where we lost like 4 games in a row and we played Newcastle, we played them off the park, and again, their man sent off as well. So it's one of those ones where without the quality of both teams, take it out of the equation where both teams are similar, we still end up winning. It's happened since 96, where 97, where Colin Moore scored in the last minute. It happened ever since when we got them relegated in 2009. It's always been that kind of thing, and it's no disrespect to Newcastle. It's just pointing out the facts.
Yeah.
It's just that quality of Newcastle, no matter what. It's just that mentality.
No, you guys completely own us, and to counter your point a little bit, even when we played good in the 3-3 draw earlier this year. We played a really good game, and we still didn't win. The game last year at St. James Park, we were really good that first half. Really good. Up until like the 60th minute, changes happen. Bam, bam, Nunez brace. So even when we give you guys a really good game, still haven't beat you guys in a minute. And at Anfield, we've won there twice in all competitions since 1990.
Yeah.
And there's 23 losses in between.
I agree with what you're saying. I suppose the devil's advocate response is at some point, Newcastle's Wembley form and form against Liverpool, and even if sometimes the form changes for a long period, you go through these, we've had loads of wins against you and then loads without. But maybe it's just the anomaly. At some point, they're going to pick. And I think the one thing you'd have to guard against, and I know Hassan doesn't like hearing this, but we've seen a number of finals at Wembley, League Cup and FA Cup included, I would say, in the past decade or so, where one of the opponents has been fairly written off. Man United last year, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Then a couple of years after that, there was Man United versus Chelsea, where Chelsea were written off. There was obviously Wigan versus Wigan, not Wigan when they beat Man. There's been quite a few examples of
Chelsea Arsenal final.
Even last year, you could actually argue Chelsea went into that game as marginal favourites because of your injury problems, especially after the subs. So yeah, as long as you guys, I think if Liverpool go in with the right mindset, work their backsides off, I think you come out as the winners. But I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to see Newcastle do it. Not even to stop Liverpool, I'd love to watch their fans celebrate a trophy. I would, to be fair.
But the only problem I see with
before this game,
they said, what you said there is like, I don't. Even with it's really hard to count out Newcastle because we know how good they are. Like they got Anthony Gordon, they got Isak, they got Tonali, they got Botman, they got Fabian Schär, they've got good players. Like the people need to remember these players they played in the Champions League last season. They know how to win football games. So that's probably the one detriment to them is that they can't really be like, there's no chance, because there's always a chance when you've got someone like Isak who's scoring goal after goal after goal every single game week.
No, and you know what's slightly disappointing? Obviously not from a Liverpool point of view. But if we weren't in this competition, or if we'd been knocked out early or something, I would have really liked to see a Newcastle Spurs final because, as my friend Jay said a few weeks ago, somebody's always got to go, right? It would have been quite cool to see if Newcastle could get their hoodoo or Spurs.
I wanted the North London derby final for similar reasons, because it would have meant Arteta wins a trophy. Spurs, the run continues for Spurs. Carnage. Or Spurs end that run and they stop Arteta. Carnage. That's why I wanted it. It was purely because once my team was out, I'm not thinking about it from my club's point of view. I was looking at it from an online. We're all online fans in the sense that we do content and we're on socials. That was the one. But this one also, like, it has a bit of it. Because if Newcastle win, it's such a massive achievement for them. So I would like to see them go on and do it from this point.
We still got the FA Cup in it. Like,
we can't take that game for granted. Newcastle have dangerous weapons. They're capable of scoring. They gave us a good game at St James's Park. Even though I still think overall we were a better team on that game, but I think a draw is understandable. Is a kind of a pretty fair result. And on a neutral ground, I would always back us, especially because we have so many players fit at the moment, and we're playing so well. So I'll back us. But if we go into that game and we're complacent and we're not 100%, then there's a possibility. There's a chance Newcastle have got good players.
I'll take nothing away from Man United's final. We deserve to be in it. We won it fair and square.
Yeah.
But remember, they had their goalkeeper missing and an injury problem, so they couldn't play Dubravka because he'd been at loan on us. And Nick Pope got suspended, and I think Isak was out of that game as well. Yeah. So that's also going to be big. Like Newcastle, I think need every single member of their first 11 fit and available. No stupid red cards the weekend before to be able to beat you. A few super chats here. I want to throw out to the panel.
Botman coming back as well, I think could be huge for them actually.
By then as well. Yeah, I hear you, mate. I hear you. Although he did play in the final. But there we go. Condolences to Deji. His treble dreams are over before they even begun. Are you still going to win the double? If so, say it with chest. You'll never walk alone, is what Truckle says. I watched the whole game and didn't know Bentancur was playing. He did absolutely. I knew he was playing because he had a shot that went about 15 miles over the bar. That's what I remember.
He's a terrible midfielder. He's been an absolutely awful midfielder. That we overhype this midfielder so much. Sorry to interrupt, but like the most overhyped midfielder I heard about after Brentford saying, "Oh, he's experience. He shows so much experience and everything else." I've said, "No, I'm sorry. I'll have other midfielders better than him all day long. I'm sorry. He's just terrible." And Basuma as well. Like, I'm sorry. Just the experience midfield. Just
I hear you, mate. Just I made a mistake. He did play in the final. He came on at half time, I think, Isak. So, but that obviously meant he weren't fully fit. That must have meant he weren't fully fit if he kept that. And yeah, that helped us a little bit.
And we were also going into that game in not good form either. Like we played you guys.
And that was also, listen, I'm taking Nank away from us. I thought we deserved to be there and we deserved to win it. But that was also when Rashford was in that scintillating form as well, and which helped. Even Wout Weghorst was playing okay for us at that point. And then a couple of weeks later, some team from Merseyside ruined it. Deji, do you accept that Spurs team are dustier than the great Man United?
Great.
Well, not the great Man United, the pathetic Man United at the moment. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you and fair and square. I ain't doing any dick measuring contest with Tottenham because right now we've both got ittle ditty bitty penises. So yeah, there's no point. They're both tiny, aren't they, Ram? Change the manager, there will be a bounce, but everyone will see it won't make a difference. We are a bang average team with a few decent players. Fact is what man like Jimbo says.
I don't even think a new manager. Ruben Amorim didn't really get the new manager bounce, did he? That's not a guarantee that a new manager.
What don't you agree with, Alex?
Basically, I think a better team can a better coach would adapt better. Also use the players that he's got better. I think you could do a better formation with these players as well. I'm not saying that we're going to be up the league higher. I'm saying I'm looking at trying to get 7th here.
But you got to say, Alex, though, the planning before at the start of the season was absolutely poor. Like you've got all these injuries, but you just have no one else.
Box Office TV. You obviously didn't watch Mr. Box Office TV because I was telling this since day dot. Mate.
If you don't know, get to know.
You know what I mean? Yeah. If you don't know, get to know. You know what I mean?
You spend your time saying all our players are bang average. Oh, he's crap. He's rubbish. He's bang average. But you think, hang on, let me finish. You never let anyone finish. But you think a better coach could get something out of these bang average players. It don't make sense.
Just to interject to what you just said, right? Yeah, I have said certain players are all right, yes. but they can do better with some of these squad, by the way. So I don't know what you're talking about there again. You know what I mean?
We will let the audience decide here. This here says cockerel biryani. Tottenham got cooked tonight. Oh, a bit of chicken biryani. Oh, I love a bit of chicken biryani. Big up, Faz. How does Van Dijk escape red cards? Listen, I didn't think it was a red card. I thought it was maybe a yellow, but I didn't think it was a red card, if I'm being honest. Everyone may have a different view on that. Yeah.
It was a yellow card.
Yeah, yellow card. Listen, the stamps he did on Kai Havertz earlier in the season, and when his shoulder went into Gordon, I thought those were red cards, but the one tonight I don't think was. Terry, Madrid have made Saliba their priority. I've been reading some of that. I'll talk about that tomorrow, mate. We'll do a show where we'll include that tomorrow. No worries. Look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. This video is going to redirect you to Hassam's channel. I'm going to butcher the name of the show. Alakwa is on Alakwa. That's what I said. I can't. Everyone stop. I can't say it. It's not my fault. Go across and support him, please, on that show. I want to thank my panelists. I want to thank the viewers, the super chatters, everyone who's hit the like button. You're amazing. Go sign up, though, to Stocks FC now. It's the best fantasy football game on planet Earth. The link's in the description. Or scan the QR code to claim your 5 free stocks right now. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.